RedMagic is a well-known subsidiary of Nubia, and they make high-end gaming smartphones, and accessories to go with those smartphones, such as this, the Shadow Blade 2. The Shadow Blade 2 is a new controller designed for use with gaming smartphones, and we're going to take a look at it and unbox it in this video. Here's the box itself, and it's very shiny and very slick looking with this very kind of futuristic branding. Inside the box you'll find another box, and inside that you'll find all the goods, including a tiny box which unfortunately does not have any stickers in it. The other goodies are of course the controller itself and 3 interchangeable analog stick caps. Now, if all this looks a little bit familiar, that would be because this is the exact same device as the GameSir G8, just in a different color. I mean, just look at this. This is 99% the same. Even the box, the device itself, everything about it other than the branding, and the color of the controller itself is exactly the same. Strangely, there's not a single mention of GameSir anywhere on this package or on the box or on the manual, but these two are totally identical. And I'm guessing that this is the result of some behind the scenes deal where GameSir licensed their controller to RedMagic. In fact, this isn't even the first time this has happened, because RedMagic used to have the Shadow Blade gamepad, which was just the GameSir X2 Pro. Well anyway, here's the Shadow Blade 2 itself. In case you don't know, the GameSir G8, and by extension this, is the best telescopic controller available for mobile right now. There are some others on the market, but none of them come anywhere remotely close to this. And by the way, I have a review video up already for the GameSir G8, so if you want to see me get really into the details about this controller, you can go check that out too. Anyway, the transparent black RedMagic version looks incredibly slick and very high quality. The colorway here is just beautiful, with the face buttons offering just a hint of color on an otherwise very stealthy looking device. You get a set of fantastic K-Silver Hall sensor analog sticks that feel amazing and smooth, a wonderful clicky D-pad that works well even for retro games, and these thunky chunky face buttons that feel absolutely amazing, with a membrane connection that is still very tactile. The GameSir Chicken button has been replaced by the RedMagic logo as well. Up top you have clicky shoulders and Hall sensor analog triggers that are some of the best in the business, with an air soft press and just the right amount of travel. These are so incredibly smooth to push down on, it's still unbelievable. And on the back you'll find 2 programmable macro keys and the laser etched grip texture, just like on the G8. One detail I love on the Shadow Blade 2 specifically is the embossed silver logo on the back. It just looks fantastic and very premium. Just like the G8, the faceplates here are magnetically attached and easy to remove. And with them off, you can remove and replace the analog stick caps. A detail that is really cool to me is that the analog stick shaft itself is red, in keeping with the rest of the branding. Anyway, let's compare the Shadow Blade 2 with its twin brother, the GameSir G8 Galileo. The G8 has a Super Nintendo-like light grey color with purple face buttons, and the sticks, D-pad and other buttons are a dark grey. The Shadow Blade 2 is decked out in all black, other than the labels on the face buttons. And on the back, the shiny RedMagic logo really stands out compared to the GameSir Chicken. Now since these controllers are the same and they have magnetic faceplates, you can actually swap them out with each other. The G8 looks seriously cool with the black faceplates, giving it a kind of subdued look when paired with the grey inputs. The two-tone effect here looks great as well. And the Shadow Blade 2 also looks just as awesome with the grey G8 faceplates. There's something about the contrast between the dark black face buttons, sticks and shoulders, and the light colored faceplate. It really feels almost like a PlayStation Classic themed controller. I really hope that GameSir continues to produce new colors for faceplates, because this is just a really great looking controller overall, and I love the ability to customize it. Well anyway, let's talk about gaming. Like I said earlier, this is clearly the best controller along with the G8 for your mobile phone right now. There are some interesting new entries in this market coming soon, like the Asus ROG Tessen or the rumored Razer Kishi Pro, but I am genuinely completely doubtful that anything can surpass the raw comfort, controls, and quality of the G8 or Shadow Blade 2, especially at its current price, which hovers anywhere from like $50 to around $80 depending on when and where you buy it. The Shadow Blade 2 feels exactly, in every way, 100% the same as the G8. There is absolutely no difference between the two whatsoever. The controls feel the same, the weight feels the same, the materials feel the same. Even the texture of the plastic on the faceplate is exactly the same. So if you're trying to decide between these two, just know that it is all down to the colorway here. There's no other difference. However, one minor irk I have with the Shadow Blade 2 is the light bleed around the LEDs next to the home button and the mode button. Unfortunately, this light just bleeds unevenly into the plastic of the controller. This is something that can usually be easily fixed with tack, tape, or even paint. But it's really not a big deal. I just wish they had gated the light more efficiently because it kind of muddies the otherwise clean look. But maybe you like this kind of diffused glow effect, I don't know. The Shadow Blade 2 will fit any standard large phone, including the RedMagic 9 Pro, which, I do not have here. This is the Poco X5 Pro, which I guess is the poor man's gaming smartphone, which actually doesn't mean it's bad at all. It's got a 120Hz screen, Snapdragon processor, plays pretty much everything fine. Anyway, you get the idea. When you have your phone hooked up to the Shadow Blade 2, you get to play your favorite games with absolutely fantastic controls, high quality materials, and a perfect ergonomic controller shape in your hands. It is honestly just fantastic in every way. The analog sticks are silky smooth and sensitive for something like an FPS game. The analog triggers are perfect for rally racing games. And the face buttons and D-pad are tactile and responsive. And genuinely, I think that this design is as close to flawless as it could possibly be. In my review of the G8 Galileo, I said that this was a console-quality controller for your smartphone, and that still applies here. It is absolutely phenomenal. I genuinely believe that this design is as close to flawless as you could possibly get for a telescopic controller for your smartphone. And I also really like how the black colorway of the Shadow Blade 2 kind of makes your phone blend in and makes the whole thing look like a more seamless gaming handheld. Now, something that the Shadow Blade 2, like the G8 Galileo, doesn't do is that it doesn't work with a tablet. An 8-inch tablet, for example, is just too big for it. But you might know that previously I released a video about how I modded the GameSir G8 to fit an 8-inch or bigger tablet. I love the Shadow Blade 2, and I actually prefer this colorway to the original G8, so I wanted to try the mod out again on this controller. The goal here is to remove these two blocks of plastic that you can actually see through the shell here. On my G8 mod video, some commenters mentioned that you could cut the stoppers from the outside. This does definitely seem like it could work, but I'm personally not comfortable putting this much pressure on the knife, especially given the presence of extended springs here that could cause something to ping out. Also, it seems like it would kind of take a long time and just be a lot of work. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But also, because the Shadow Blade 2's shell is transparent, any and all marks show up clearly through the shell. And so this method just doesn't seem to have the precision that I wanted here. I even ended up nicking the plastic a little bit while trying this. So I decided to go with my original method of opening the controller itself up and doing this mod from the inside. And this mod is really easy even if you've never messed around with electronics before. First, remove the screws from the right side after removing the right faceplate. Then, apply some hot air with a hairdryer to melt the adhesive a little bit under the rubber. Don't overdo this, you just need a little bit of warmth. Then peel the rubber up, starting by using a spudger, but just make sure that you don't pull the rubber so hard that it stretches or deforms. Underneath here you're going to see 3 more screws, so just go ahead and take those out. Then you're going to use a spudger or a guitar pick to open the device itself. You can insert your spudger somewhere toward the top of the device, between the two halves of the plastic, and just lever the clips apart. This is really easy to do, but you'll need to go in down this side and then along the top as well to make sure that all the clips are released. It's pretty obvious when that's done because the whole thing is going to start to just come apart. But you don't want to pull it apart immediately because there's actually a ribbon cable here that we need to remove. Gently pull the two halves away from each other and you'll see the ribbon cable. Remove the Kapton tape from it, flip the black connector upwards and the cable will just slide out. So here are the two stoppers that we need to remove. I just used a simple cheap craft knife to do this, and I recommend cutting each stopper into little slices and then cutting them off. Then I just slice off the remaining plastic a little bit at a time until it's almost flat. You definitely want to go slow and little by little with this, because like I said earlier, you can actually see any accidental marks from the other side of the case, which just doesn't look very nice. You could probably sand, file, or Dremel these stoppers off if you wanted to instead, but I just went with the knife method. I also used a little bit of alcohol to clean up any remaining plastic dust from when I was done. So with that, this mod is actually done, and it takes all of about 5 minutes. Now we just need to reassemble. Firstly, by reattaching the ribbon cable, flipping down the connector and then adding the tape, and then pressing the two halves of the shell together until it all just clicks back into place. I reattached the 3 screws that were underneath the rubber, then gently pushed the rubber back down into the correct position. I don't know if this is necessary, but I applied a little more heat to just seal everything back down. Finally, I attached the 2 last screws and the mod is totally complete. The 8-inch Aldo Cube iPlay 50 Mini Pro tablet can now fit in the Shadow Blade 2 because it can extend further than before. You do need to be a little bit careful because the springs can actually get bent if you let this flop around too much. Some people have even made and shared 3D printable pieces to make this more clean and secure. I plan to find one of these and print it myself as well, because the camera bump on this tablet makes it fit a little bit wonky. However, the modded Shadow Blade 2 should work on basically any tablet. I've tested it up to a 12-inch tablet, and I've also heard that popular tablets like the Galaxy Tab series, Lenovo Legion Y700, and the iPad mini all work well with this mod. And I think this is well worth doing if you own a tablet and want a dedicated controller for it. In fact, I'm happy to say that right now, this is my absolute favorite way to play games. Like, period. The 8-inch screen of this tablet is fantastic, the Shadow Blade or G8 gives you perfect controls, and it's still not too clunky for couch or bedtime gaming. Genuinely, I think this form factor is absolutely amazing. And as ridiculous as I personally thought the PlayStation Portal looked at first, I really think Sony was onto something with this form factor. I, like many other people, including my sister, have also been playing Palworld lately, and I've been playing this game primarily by streaming it from my PC to the Shadow Blade tablet setup. It works tremendously well. Well, except that my old PC can barely keep up, but it's still unbelievably fun. By the way, the analog stick caps on the G8 or the Shadow Blade are universally compatible with Xbox-style sticks, which means you can easily buy replacements. And I went ahead and purchased these black metal aluminium sticks from AliExpress, and they just pop onto the top of the shaft like so. These feel absolutely amazing and just so high quality. And another benefit is that they won't ever break down either. And the Shadow Blade in particular just looks absolutely amazing with them on. It is positively luxurious. So anyway, that's the RedMagic Shadow Blade 2. I know a lot of this review was me referencing my previous G8 review, but that's because these are exactly the same. But I think that this transparent black colorway is just amazing for this controller. If you're looking for a controller for your smartphone or tablet, I genuinely believe this is the best one you're going to get now and for quite a long time going forward. I'll leave links in the description box below where you can buy both the Shadow Blade 2 and the GameSir G8 depending on which color you prefer. And if you're interested for a little more of an in-depth look at the controller itself, please go ahead and take a look at my G8 Galileo review that I previously released. I go into a lot more detail about things like the buttons, the material, and stuff like that. So now it's your turn. Do you prefer the look of the G8 Galileo or the RedMagic Shadow Blade 2? I really like how both of these look, and I like how both of them look with the faceplate swapped out. But I do think that overall in the end I do prefer the Shadow Blade 2. The black, stealthy, slightly transparent look is just amazing. I love it so much. And I really cannot get over what a great experience it is using this controller on a tablet. It is one of my favorite ways to play games in a portable manner right now, and I really love it. So big shout out to RedMagic and GameSir for bringing these controllers to the market, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on them as well. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and leave a like on it, and subscribe to RetroBreeze for a lot more content like this coming up soon. I just got my hands on the GameSir X2S, so there'll be a review of that coming soon as well. And that's this one done. Thank you very much for watching RetroBreeze, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.